Hey, and welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. So I'm right here with my PK 300 and I plan on doing a real long cook doing pulled beef. Now I decided to go with pulled beef, one because I get a lot of questions about it, but two also because I want to do a really long cook on the PK 300. And I'm going to do that with charcoal only with a custom device. First off, to succeed with pulled beef, you really need a big chuck roll. Number one thing, at least in Sweden, is when you go to the store and buy a chuck roll, it's like this tiny, maximum 1 kilogram. It's going to be really, really hard. So I got this one, almost 4 kilograms. It's going to work a lot better. As for prepping this one, it's going to be real easy. Pull off the plastic, of course. Well, perhaps just some trimming on this side. Looks like there's some silver membrane I need to get rid of. And then apply a dry brine and then we'll cook it in the morning. Now if you open this up, you can see where we have the standard grates. I'm going to fill this with charcoal, well, underneath the grill grates. But I fabricated this 5mm steel, basically because I want to get indirect heat. But actually not just indirect heat on this side, but indirect heat and being able to utilize the full grill area. So this is going to block the direct heat radiation. Then I'm going to put another grate on top. Then we're going to get the beef on top. Again, this is a relatively small grill, but I want to utilize the whole space. So I've done a few test runs. This should work out, but time for the big exam cook, I guess. So we're going to get this rolling. But again, first prep the meat, and tomorrow morning I'll get this lit up and see how it works. So that also means instead of opening one vent in the bottom and one vent in the top on the opposite sides, I'm actually going to run all vents open to get heat to distribute evenly, but I'm going to tweak all 4 vents. So this will be a fun cook. So this is what the slab of meat looks like. As you can see, there are some silvery membranes. I'm going to trim this off. It's not the real good fat we want. This is not going to add anything, so I'm just going to get rid of this. Trim it all around, apply the salt, dry brine, and we should be ready to go. So I've trimmed it as much as I want, not very much at all, to be honest. Wasn't that much trimming to be done, so just gonna get plenty of salt on there. Now when cooking a big hunk of beef like this, it's really important to give it time for the salt to go into the meat, so that's why we're doing this the day before. This goes into the fridge, and in the morning we'll fire up the grill, apply the rub, and get that thing cooking. This is what the hunk of beef looks like after, 14 hours of dry brining. Really nice, but actually I realized one thing I am going to do is I'm just going to cut it straight down the middle because we're doing pulled beef and I want to get more surface area, which means more bark and more flavor. So we're going to cook the whole thing, but in 2 pieces. Now as for cook time, it won't change much because cook time depends mainly on thickness, not total weight. So that's not going to be a difference, but time to get some good rub on this one. I'm using a pork rub, my KC Royale. You can find the recipe on my website, hankstruebarbecue.com/hanksrubs. Kind of taken a liking to using pork rubs on beef lately, so I think this is going to be pulled beef, so I think the added sweetness is going to be really good. And I'm laying it on pretty thick. Want to get a good even amount of rub on all surface areas here. Looking good. We're not quite up to temp yet, around 100 degrees Celsius, but I'm gonna get the meat on right away and start dialing in temps. And these are 2 big slabs of meat. Now you can see why I wanted to utilize the full grate here. Just gonna leave that right there in the middle. Should be okay. Gonna separate this just a bit. And of course, the meat probe. I think that's looking good. There's going to be quite a bit of juice dripping down onto this plate, but currently you can't see that in the video, but the grill is leaning slightly to the left, so I'm hoping we'll cool up in this end. Now I haven't added any wood chunks for smoke flavor because I want to see how much flavor this charcoal uses when I'm doing a low and slow cook, so we'll see. So the cook has started. We're running at 130 Celsius, which is fine. I've dialed down both vents, top and bottom. These are on like the center mark, and the other one's closed a bit more. I have the fan hooked up to the fireboard, but I'm not using it or running it at all. I'm thinking I should be able to do this cook old school style, just adjusting the vent. So we'll see like later in the day if I need to kick in the fan to give a little air boost to bump up temps, but so far things are looking good, so I'll just let this run for quite a few hours. So a quick checkup. We're 3.5 hours into this cook. It's humming along nicely. I did have to turn this fan on just a little while ago, so to boost temps I'm consistently cooking at 125 Celsius. The meat is at 65, 66 Celsius, so we're kind of approaching the stall, so we got ways to go anyway, but I just wanted to check in. I haven't opened the lid because, well, just want to leave it alone and get that good smoke flavor and fat rendering going. So we're 4 hours in. Time to take a look. I'm gonna wrap these, but man, they're barking up real good. Looking fantastic. So time to bring out the aluminum foil, wrap them, add some beer, and put them back on. Tent it a bit, add some beer to this. Alright, so both hunks of meat wrapped. Gonna give it another few hours. Still put the probe back in, the second one, so I can keep track of temp. So far extremely easy cook. Cheers. So we've hit 95 or 203 degrees Fahrenheit, so these are ready. I'm gonna put them in the faux camera, leave them for a good 3 hours before we unwrap and pull them. But I'm real psyched. Smells divine over here. Feels real soft and pliable. Just the way it should be. Oh man. Beautiful. This did get a bit messy. This too. Hot, hot, hot. Good to have gloves on. But I'm shutting this down. Oh, by the way, here you can see the amount of charcoal left. So we've done, I'm thinking, 7.5 hour cook so far. There's still plenty of charcoal. I could go, I'm gonna have to guesstimate, but 2 to 3 hours at least more. So this is good. Nice setup for doing full brisket next time or anything like that. Right, moment of truth. The beef has been resting in the faux camber for a good 3.5 hours. So still piping hot, but I'm gonna move them over to this oven pan. Highly recommended because you really don't want to lose any juice. Everything goes into this pan, so we can shred it, tear it, mix it up, and make a real good pulled beef sandwich. To do that, gloves are really good because again, it's screaming hot. This is looking good. Let me see if I can just flip it over. Real nice. Get all that juice in there. And perfect. First one. See if we can flip it over. Seems to be pulling quite easily. This is nice. Just the way it should be. Super soft. Oh man, that's looking great. This is going to be a tasty sandwich. So first one shredded, looking fantastic. Gotta try some of that. Man, that's good. Incredibly juicy. Real nice. Let's bring out the second one. Might as well. Looks like I can make me more than one pulled beef sandwich today. That looks real juicy too. Oh man, gotta sample it. You never know. You ever seen any difference? Good. Nice cook. I believe it's time to make me a real bad pulled beef sandwich. Got all the pulled beef here. Got my plate ready for man-sized burger. Got some nice brioche bun here, so gonna keep it real simple. Start out with some sriracha mayo. I am a fan of sriracha mayo, so I'm gonna add quite a bit. Put some on the lid, top bun, and nice. Gonna load this up real good. Gonna let the beef be the star of the show on this one. I think I can fit a bit more in there. Get some of that bark in. All right. And of course, you gotta have some sauerkraut. Real nice. The acidity is gonna cut through the beef. It's gonna be pretty darn good. And of course, gotta have some pickles. But I mean, I think I'm ready to eat. All right, let's see what this is all about. Now this is got a bit too much sriracha there, but this is my kind of sandwich. Again, that sauerkraut with the pulled beef, fantastic, really good. Juicy, succulent, nice bark on the outside, tender meat on the inside. It was good fun doing a long, low and slow cook on the PK. That big metal plate I put in to be able to utilize the full grill area. I think we have a winner. I mean, you could just get any old tray and put in there instead of my custom built metal device, but still, the principle applies and it works really well. It wasn't hard tuning the vents or anything. Just as some quick cook stats, I cooked it at 125 Celsius, which is 255 to 60 Fahrenheit, for roughly 4 hours. And just when it was beginning to hit the stall, I wrapped it. Do I always wrap beef? I would say yes, because beef is slightly leaner than the pulled pork equivalent, which is the porcine version. So wrap it up, added some juice, in this case beer, and just let it ride. Once I had it wrapped, I cranked up the temp to 130 and then 140 and then 150 in the end, so or 300 degrees Fahrenheit for the last 45 minutes. Because once you wrap it, you just want to bring it home. So no point in doing a super low and slow once you wrapped it. Anyhow, a good long rest always helps. I highly recommend it. Get one of those for Cambros. You're not going to regret it. Just dig in. This is some tasty beef. Real good. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys next episode.